I took a sample out of my out of my AP earlier today. It was this is a sample of some of the foils, some of the best part of the foils. This is just a sample, really, of what was on top of the AP. I've set these in some low heat, and it's dried it out pretty good. This is part of the batch of pens I had in the AP for my Christmas fund. This is going to be some of the better looking pens, some of the better looking foils. I'm not sure what kind of weight this is going to be, but it's going to be pretty decent. I haven't gotten down to the really finer stuff yet. I'll get on down in there and get the really fine stuff out using coffee filters. This cloth is it's just linen. It's an old bed sheet that I've torn into squares to fit some of my filters, and this is just a colander. With a piece of linen over it, and I've set this in warm after rinsing with water. That's all I've done is rinsed it with water. That's why it's darker underneath. The really shiny foils is darker underneath. It's because I haven't rinsed it with hydrochloric or anything other than just rinsing it with water. I'm sure some of the finer foils just went through this cloth, because it's pretty porous. It filters out the bigger foils. The smaller foil, just the small giblets, just go through there. So I'll have to go through it and filter out with a coffee filter the smaller stuff. But I should get maybe this amount, twice more out of what was in there. And once I get all the foils out, I'll try to get a weight on it. It's kind of hard to judge the way it is now, though. I mean, this really doesn't give a good idea of about size or anything. If I get any closer, it'll blur out. I don't really have anything I can use for a comparison here. Let's see if I can scare up a quarter. Now, this is from my Christmas fund. This was started out 10 pounds of mixed pens. There was some military type pens. There was some header pens, slot pens, just all types of pens you could think of, configurations and just everything. There was no other foreign material. It was just pens, and it's taken about 10 days to really dissolve that much metal, and it took 25 gallons of copper chloride solution. But this is just what skimmed off the top. what was floating in solution. I really didn't get down to the bottom of the barrel. I used a small pail and just dipped it out and poured it through this strainer here. Then I'll go back, I'll take the buckets that I've strained this foil out of, and after it sit overnight, I'll dip out most of the solution out of that, and then I'll filter the last couple of percents of solution and get the small, very tiny pieces of foil out of that as well. But I should update this again in a couple of days at the least.